All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis's reaction to Shakur Stevenson and some of that good old smack Shakur Stevenson was talking on the low. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the 130 and the 135 pound division. Gervonta Tank Davis responds via the Rise podcast to Shakur Stevenson and some of the good old fashioned stuff he was talking on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. Before I get into that though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Could not do it on the channel without you. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we do on a daily basis in the video format and the live stream format. Definitely check us out. We got a really good boxing conversations going on. So let's get into this. We got the biggest money maker in one of the biggest money makers in boxing, the biggest money maker below the weight class of 147 pounds, Gervonta Tank Davis, who put a tweet out that basically said, "Underestimate me so I can embarrass you." And let me assure you the timing of that and where we saw it, which was shout out again to the Rise podcast out of the great city of Baltimore. Trainers include trainers of Gervonta Tank Davis that are consistently on that channel. So no need to play child games. We know exactly what people are talking about because it came out right after the interview that Shakur Stevenson gave to $1 Million Worth of Game with Gilly the Kid and his co-host. Please forgive me for not knowing his name. Like the show very much the couple times that I've watched it. However, this particular one with Shakur Stevenson, I really did like that because it was one about boxing. So in this particular podcast, Shakur Stevenson, and not in a very indirect manner, I'm sure that Shakur thought he was being indirect, but trust me, he was not being indirect. It was quite obvious what he was talking about, who he was talking about, when he said what he said. Now, what he said very well may be true. Cannot say that it is, can't say it isn't. Going to give Shakur Stevenson all the respect in the world. An Olympic silver medalist, an unified champion at 130 pounds, and one of the best boxers on the planet. Every major or let me say major media outlet with the pound for pound list has Shakur Stevenson on the list. So there's no reason for Shakur not to be extremely confident in his abilities. Not going to shortstop him at all on that. But what he said was, when asked about Gervonta Tank Davis, he said, Gilly the Kid asked him about Gervonta Tank Davis, and what Shakur Stevenson said was, anybody that needs a knockout to beat me has already lost. And he said, are you talking about Gervonta Davis? Like, you talking about Gervonta Davis, be direct. I like that out of Gilly the Kid. Be direct. It ain't going to do anything but help sell the fight. It's not going to do anything but add luster to your name. The way this stuff works, being shy and beating around the bush about it while you obviously talking about someone is a bit of a waste of time. But anyways, Shakur says, yeah. He doesn't say yeah. He says anybody that needs the knockout to beat me has already lost. So Gervonta Davis via Rise podcast, they published a tweet and it said, underestimate me so I can embarrass you. Now, who could you possibly be talking about this out here underestimating you by saying things, I don't know, like, if you need a knockout, you're like implying that you need a knockout to beat me, and as a result, you've already lost that fight, right? Gotta be Shakur Stevenson. I'm not sure if anybody else has said that. I doubt very much he was talking about Devin Haney, because Devin Haney hadn't said anything that direct and that applied to him that directly. Because most people think, I wouldn't say most people, many people think that all Gervonta Davis is a knockout artist, which in my opinion is seriously underestimating that man's ability to box, because he absolutely positively can. However, you know the saying that Gervonta only has to be, and this is coined by Deontay Wilder, you've got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only got to be perfect for 2 seconds. Soon as I catch you, you're going to sleep. That type of movement. And that's the type of power Gervonta Davis absolutely positively has. However, if people just assume that that's the only way that he can fight and that he cannot box, he cannot outscore you, I think people are underestimating Gervonta Davis. And I consistently hear people underestimating Gervonta Davis with his accomplishments, number one, talking about how his resume, he ain't fought anybody. He's fought every bit as good a competition as Devin Haney has or Shakur Stevenson has. And Shakur Stevenson has not accomplished more than Gervonta Davis has at 130. Gervonta Davis got Jose Pedraza out of there at 130 pounds. He got Leo Santa Cruz out of there at 130 pounds, got him out of there at 130 pounds. And those two fights right there for championships at 130 or super featherweight, to me, most definitely stack up to the win with Oscar Valdez and Jamel Herring. The difference being, though, that Gervonta can absolutely positively get you out of there, and Shakur Stevenson, if he's coming to you and he's breaking you down, he can win the fight and he has the opportunity to knock you out. But the idea that only chance Gervonta has is a knockout, and as a result, that fight's already over, underestimates Gervonta Davis in a couple ways. Number one, that he can't catch your chin, because I do believe that anybody gets in there with Gervonta is going to get caught on the chin unless he is stuck behind a very, very high and firm high guard, and in that case, your body's going to be catching a bunch of stuff, just like Isaac Cruz was before he hurt his hand. Also, Shakur Stevenson hurt his hand in the fight with Oscar Valdez. Look, man, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis ain't no Oscar Valdez. He is going to be able to close the gap on Shakur Stevenson, especially if Shakur Stevenson in a fight nurses anything resembling a hand injury. But I like that Gervonta came out and said that, like, underestimate so I can embarrass you. As far as all the talk about the sparring, which Shakur Stevenson also did, talked about how he sparred everybody, right? Well, Shakur acknowledged, first of all, you never know what's really going on in sparring, because you don't know if a guy is just telling you just to do a jab or to fight on the back foot or what have you. Also, you got them big old gloves on. And if you're sparring a guy like Gervonta when Gervonta's got them big gloves on, when you take that down to 8, when you take that sucker down to them, I think down there, they're at 8-ounce gloves. When you get that down to those 8-ounce gloves and get in there with them, it's a whole lot different action. And you may be even less willing to engage than you would have been previously. But anyway, I just think it's an interesting matchup. I certainly hope we get to see the fight, because I think other than like right next to Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, a fight with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis is one of those top pound for pound fighters type of fights that could go either way, and one that I hope in the near future actually can take place. You know, you got Vasily Lomachenko, who's a little bit over the hill. You've got Devin Haney, who more than likely by the time that fight can even take place with Tank or Shakur is going to be off at 140 pounds, because he's a big guy and probably isn't going to want to continue to make that weight class. So it's a good conversation to have. I'm glad that they both kind of shooting at each other. I just wish they be a little bit more direct about it. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.